Well, I actually wanted to ask you about Ryan Lindgren a little bit. Obviously, you guys have been playing together for a week. We know the backstory there. But as far as his role on the team, the way that he's perceived in the locker room, like he seems like, he doesn't get a whole lot of attention or fanfare, but it seems like the guys in the locker room really appreciate him for what he does. So what could you say about just how he's sort of received by teammates and what he means to the team?
Yeah, definitely. I think, a lot of times from the outside, it's guys who, maybe score, get assists, get points, who kind of get the praise. But, a guy like him who, sacrifices every night, does the little things that, might go unnoticed or unrecognized, I think it's, huge for us to have that. Obviously, like you said, he's a well-liked, well-respected guy in the locker room, really fun to be around. And, obviously, I've played with him now for 2 years, known him for a while. So, he's been huge for me and helping me out. And, yeah, obviously a great guy for us to have.
When you say fun to be around, I know you guys live together and all that, like, can you give us any examples of how he keeps things loose or what kind of personality he has?
Yeah, I think he's a funny guy. He's easy to joke with. He takes jokes pretty well. He doesn't get, too caught up if someone, joking with him, and he could give it right back. So, I think, he does a really good job of flipping that switch of, being fun to be around in the locker room, but then come game time, he's, a pretty serious guy. He's always 100% no matter what. So, I think he does a good job of really flipping that switch, when it's time to be fun, when it's time to be serious.
What do you notice about that demeanor on the ice at game time with him?
Yeah, I think, everyone notices that it's, a bit of a selfless way that he plays. He's, putting his face in front of shots, and I know he got bloodied up a lot more, last year, that was kind of thing, but it's kind of representative of who he is. He's not afraid to, do dirty things and do what it takes to win, and I think everyone recognizes it. And like I said, from the outside, it's goals, assists, and stuff like that usually gets, the praise. But, I think we did a good job this year of recognizing stuff like that, from him and everyone else that's willing to do those little things.
Adam, tonight is the end of that long stretch of 10 games and 17 games, 3 sets of back-to-back. How is everybody holding up physically and even mentally?
Yeah, I think everyone's doing good. Obviously, it's a lot of games, and you get run down a little, like you said, not just physically, but mentally. It could be a little draining, and I think we did a good job. I think guys have said it. I mean, obviously, some games we haven't played our best, but at the end of the day, if you get 2 points, it's good, and you move on to the next game. And if you don't, still move on. So, I think we've done a good job handling it, and guys are trying to give 110%, even if maybe they're not feeling it. So I think it's been good for us so far.
You guys, you're playing Vegas tonight. It's the coach's old team. It's Ryan Reed's old team. Got nothing to do with the rest of you, but is there a feeling like is this one special for any reason for those two guys?
Yeah, I'm sure for those two. I think whenever you play an old team, I'm sure there's a little extra motivation. I think for a lot of guys in the locker room, it's another game, and trying to get 2 points. It's cliche and everything, but that's what you do. I know. I'm sure it's a fairly emotional game for those guys. Obviously, Revo's there for a bit, and same with Turk. So I'm sure there's a little extra motivation. Obviously, you want to help those guys out, but I think for us, just trying to take care of business is our focus.
Adam, this last stretch, you guys haven't produced a ton of goals 5-on-5. Do you feel like you've generated enough offense to maybe have a little bit better results during the stretch?
Yeah, I think there's stretches of games where you're gonna explode for a few and not. I think it's more so not changing your game when the pucks aren't going in. We've had a few stretches this year where we haven't been able to score as much 5-on-5, and I think that's when special teams, like you've seen, is important. That you got to come through in the PP and the PK in that aspect. And as long as we're playing the right way, you hope to generate more goals 5-on-5. But if you're getting chances, they'll eventually go in. And I don't think we want to cheat for offense just because we're not scoring as much 5-on-5 and then giving up more. So it's a lot of games. It's one of those little stretches, and I'm sure sooner rather than later we'll find the back of the net.
You look at the standings and see your position in the race in the division?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're always aware of the standings and where you're at. I think we've done a good job putting ourselves in a good position here for, one of these stretches where you're not going to, win every game. We had a nice stretch there of winning a lot of games, and there's a lot of good teams in this league, and everyone's fighting for the playoffs. So, yeah, I think you're always aware of it. You know, obviously within your division more than anything else, but you know, at the end of the day, you're still going into games looking for 2 points, and I think that we've done a good job of trying to just focus on that.
You like being in the race for first place?
It's definitely better than not being in the race.
Is there, just on the offense thing, without Panarin potentially, is there any kind of collective mindset shift or anything that you maybe feel like you guys need to do more to help fill that void collectively?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, when a star player like that, who's really productive for us and generates a lot of offense, I think, of course, it's on everyone else to step up a little bit. You know, we talked about it when, you know, Mikko was possibly missing time, and you know, I think it adds definitely a little motivation for guys to step up and you know, produce in that spot, because you're missing a guy that, you know, obviously generates a lot. So you know, I think it's definitely one of those next man up mentalities. You know, you never want to be missing a guy like that, but you know, a lot of talent in that room and a lot of guys who definitely can step up.